What a beautiful day out there, greater people, greater TBCians. What a wonderful day out there to everyone that is watching me right now. My name is Olugbemi Shokunbi. I am a TBCian. In today's broadcast, in today's TBC broadcast, I will be relaying with us the info, the information as regarding the November's cookie redemption that is just around the corner. By that, I titled this broadcast TBC November 2018 Cookies Redemption. I say that once again. Title to this broadcast is TBC November 2018 Cookies Redemption. By the way, let me ask you, you yourself that you are a TBCian, have you ever done any job relating to TBC? I mean a job like you bringing in people, bringing in a prospect to TBC, or you making promotional videos that promotes TBC. I mean these jobs that ought to earn you cookie rewards. And reason for that is this: we all should know that redemption of cookies ought to be a special period for any rewards of previous serious activities done. And what I'm saying altogether by that is that before now we ought to have actually been done something. I mean, to have done something seriously for the previous serious activities done that brings progress, promotions to TBC. And if one has actually done that, then this period of redemption of cookies should be something that we ought to celebrate in a high note. So alright, understand that the next cookie redemption period we actually start by this November 1st, 2018. That should be something like 2 or 3 days to come. So as expected, and understand that it's most likely, according to the information which the admin related, that period may also include most parts of December, and that is only if the members support. I mean the members, TBC members support that. So that is actually a decision that is left to the admin. I wouldn't know how they go around that, whether they are going to sample the opinion of the members, I mean TBC members, to actually establish that. I mean the redemption period, cookie redemption period, running from November, then extending to most part of December. That is left to them. So we have been advised not to be too anxious to click the redemption button in our KCBO, I mean our Krengu Cash back office, because one can only click it once during the redemption period, and many opportunities will be available to increase cookies throughout that entire period of time. I mean November, December 2018. We ought to understand also that the pattern, I mean the method that is associated with a redemption period are very different from those when the TBC community is not in a redemptions period, when our TBC community is not in a redemption period. So for example, in a redemption period, it is possible to become a TBC millionaire in just one day. And what that means is that it is very important that we make it understandable to the newest people joining TBC during this redemption period that TBC is far from liquid, while we at we in the community of TBC, we are actually in the distribution phase of it altogether. And we ought to understand this also, probably relate this more within ourselves, that cashing out is not what we do in TBC, especially for those who have not gotten cookie redemption before now. Cashing out is not what we do in TBC. We in TBC, we offer a way to cash flow, but not to cash out. People really need to understand the difference, and even the new members that have actually joined TBC, they should understand the difference. the plan is to actually make it easy to spend TBC, to spend kringles, I mean units of TBC coins, as we are reaching towards our objective of 1 billion members worldwide. And we also understand that we in TBC we will never, make a part, or rather TBC admin will never make a part or a way or a method to go around what is known as a cashing out of all of one's TBC. And we ought to understand also that cashing out is not in alignment with our TBC's admin's mission and mandate. And we need to see that also as our own mission and our mandate. And what that means is that TBC is not a market base by design. TBC is actually a private community that is established, that or rather that is formulated or computed that establishes value by the number of the living souls that join him, and that's multiplied by something like a 2.5 or 2.6 dollars value of a grain of gold, and which is actually stable. I mean the value of grains of gold is stable. That could be $2.5 or $2.6. So that multiplied by the number of the verified members of TBC. That is how the coin TBC is established. I mean the value of the coin is being established. All right. So we should also understand that admin advises us that we all should please learn what that means. We should learn what it means, not that the redemption period is not a sort of a cashing out. So we should try to increase our financial knowledge and read the blogs of TBC to gain a more understanding of what period we are entering into in this upcoming November of 2018. TBC had made the path towards abundance much easier than all other alternatives present out there. TBC great hope is to actually bring abundance to all of humanity, and the game of a life has been rigged by the wealthy elites to benefit themselves only, at the expense of everyone else. I mean at the expense of the masses. So understand that cashing out is one of their concepts, and when you really think about that concept, it is totally not natural. So note that cashing out is not in alignment with the principle of abundance. What TBC the billion coin offers is totally different away from the ideology of the wealthy ones, the wealthy elites of the society, that what they do altogether is to enslave the masses with the scarcity mentality. And TBC does not have a sort of alignment with that principle of cashing out. So understand that that will actually sound ridiculous. However, it is a genuine truth. It actually takes a very little cash flow to change a life, and humanity has been oppressed for so long that they are actually used to having so little cash flow in their lives. So explaining that further, understand that one could just imagine fast forward into the future. I mean we just imagine we have this scenario in the future when TBC reaches its objective of 1 billion members, and these members, many of them will eventually be merchants of all kinds, even in the TBC community. Then we should envisage this as well, that by that time the TBC or Kringle's economy can become the most desirable around the world once TBC the billion coin matures, and that we the community members of TBC also mature. So TBC has always, been spendable even from the day it was launched, but it is not liquid. Ever since it has been established, ever since our TBC as a coin has been launched, it has been spendable. However, it has not been liquid. So the larger we become, the more spendable, the larger we become in the community, the more spendable TBC becomes. There is a direct correlation, a direct correspondence between the size of our active members and the level at which our TBC, TBC or the Kringles is being spendable. So we should understand this, that TBC has been used to buy many things already, including lands, including cars, electronics, even to make a payment for rent, to make payment for food. The ability to negotiate, to canvass between the spender and the receiver is a valuable, trait. A valuable characteristic within our community, TBC community today. Yet, once we reach our objective of 1 billion members, that a particular trait, characteristic of a negotiation, will not be needed in most of the cases, as members transact with one another easily. We are only a few more exponential steps away from reaching our objectives, and we all should open our minds to actually seeing that. And what I mean by that is the 24 and the 48 hours cookie rewards is actually driving the community's growth. It's very evident. So cookie rewards give you a great deal of incentives to actually participate in the community growth, and not just only the community growth, but also grow your own financial portfolio. By that, understand that our TBC valuable gift is easy to share, and rapid rewards give the newest members a huge incentives to get off to a fast start. So we need to understand this also, that TBC community is stronger than ever, and soon and very soon TBC private status will be unchallenged. No one will be able to question us, and no one will be able to question what we call our community and what we choose to spend in our community. Not even a government of any nation will actually question that or stop us. So another important one is here, and that is the path towards our TBC billionaire status is limited to only certain numbers of the members, and the numbers of the members is 1,111,000, then 111. That is, maybe I should take it this way, that is 1, we put a comma, then we put another 111, another comma, and the last we put 111. So that particular number of members will be the ones that will ever have the TBC billionaire status. So what that means is that it's actually left to us to choose whether we want to be billionaires of these limited numbers in TBC community, or we want to belong to the class of those that are referred to as millionaires, that is TBC millionaires. So this is very important to point out during this redemption period of November 2018, that our TBC admin has 2 classes of rewards now. Probably it has never been like that before, but now TBC admin has 2 classes of rewards. So there is the billionaire class reward, which we earned once the number of the members which I gave to us earlier, actually that is that number of members have 1 full TBC, that is one whole TBC in their wallet. The number once again is 1,111,000, then 111 members of the TBC. Once they have that whole, that is 1 full TBC in their wallet, then it's going to be hard for any other fellow to come in and then have a whole TBC in his wallet. So we should understand that after then, I mean after they said their numbers, after they've gotten at least one full TBC in their wallets, it will be nearly impossible to obtain one full TBC coin once the position is actually filled. Then we TBCians are as well advised by the admin to educate everyone around us on the difference between the two parts offered, that is of being a TBCian or of being a kringler. A TBCian is someone that has at least one full TBC, while a kringler is someone in the community of a TBC that has lesser than one whole TBC, that has lesser than one full TBC. So wealth without education does not make sense. We need to embrace education, and our TBC is not a democracy. TBC is not driven by the whims of its members. TBC is not driven by a sudden thought or by a mere wishful thinking of its members. It's actually being structured out by financial experts of the world. So admin they are set forth a stable structure as concerning how TBC can empower the people, can empower humanity, can empower individual, empower masses. And by that, no community member by wishful thinking should just expect to change our TBC or have the power to change our TBC's structure that is already in place. So we should understand this, that our TBC is not forced on anyone, and a member should likewise never use force to make TBC change. No member of TBC community should ever use force to make a TBC change. TBC is professionally structured out by the financial experts, and it has a mandate, and the mandate has to be fulfilled. So it cannot be changed by a mere wishful thinking of any fellow that is present in TBC. It will only be true love, and only love and respect, that we in the TBC community will move forward. All other things tend to set us back, and we all should be a part of the solutions to moving forward and not the problem. So as I always say, understand that TBC is real, TBC is genuine, and TBC is the money of the people. That is, TBC is the money of the masses, by the masses, and for the masses, and TBC is the future. So it is here to actually restore the rights of the people back to the people. And yourself, that you are a TBCian right now, watching this very broadcast, your right is also included. And if you are a new prospect also, as regarding TBC, note that your right of money and having money in abundance is also included, and that right is what our TBC is here to restore to you. And what we TBCians have altogether is abundance, and whenever anyone has abundance, there will always be peace of mind. And not just peace of mind, there will always be this freedom to enjoy life at the fullest. So I will be ending this very broadcast once again by saying to you that abundance in TBC, then that will give you peace of mind, and establishing that all together, TBC is the way. Thank you for watching.